How is it looking?
I think it looks pretty good. I'm just checking the weather forecast one last time before leaving, and yeah, it looks okay. I don't think it will be the most comfortable sailing since we will have a constant beam reach, but yeah, it should be comfortable enough to handle 2 days at sea. So yeah, I think it's a go.
I'm preparing our bed that we use when we do overnight sails. We sleep here in the
Saloon sofa.
Yeah, we sleep in the saloon sofa sort of thing, and use the table as a like protection so we don't fall over. And it's in center of the boat, so it's super comfy, and we found out that this is the best place to sleep when we do overnight sails.
So before we leave today, I'm going to make a super easy bread, a frying pan bread that we can have as breakfast during the passage. Since none of us is very keen on going down to bake bread when we sail, it's kind of convenient to just have made it before, and this way we will have fresh bread breakfast during the passage, which is super nice. Start by adding some flour. I use wheat flour. Then I add some salt and some chia seeds, some baking powder, and stir it all together real quickly. Add milk and some more milk, and then olive oil. Now it's time to mix it all together. Mix it well and make a dough out of it. And now to the fun part. Start flattening the bread, using something that can help you. Then you start making shapes. I use a mug, but you can use a bowl or any other shape that you would like the bread to be in. Fry them in a pan with some oil on medium heat. And just like that, they are done and ready to eat for breakfast or lunch, or as complement to a meal. Our time in the Caribbean is coming to an end for this season, so we are heading back to Sweden in about 3 weeks. So it's high time to sail south to Trinidad to prepare the haul out and just pack the boat up. So we have breakfast and a few more preparations to do, and then we are ready to leave.
Yeah, it will be 2-night sail, 2-day sail, about 320 nautical miles, so approximately 2 days. So 2 nights and 2 days.
Yeah.
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 The weather looks promising. We're having
Somewhere between closed hold and beam reach.
Yeah.
All the way. So it might be kind of rough if there's a lot of waves, but yeah, probably it should be fine.
Yeah, it looks great. The weather looks promising, and the wind is around 10 to 20 knots the whole way. Yeah, the prediction says that. Hope that holds, and the waves also are predicted to be quite low. So hopefully it will be a nice sail down to Trinidad.
Yeah, But first, breakfast.
Yeah.
And we're on our way. Everything went super smooth and we are heading for Dominica. We are just outside of Dominica, and for the first time in days we had really good internet, so we could check up on some things like the check-in procedure and clearance procedure for Trinidad. And I don't know why, but we had just assumed that it would be almost like checking into any one of these islands. You send a notification in advance and then you arrive and do the procedure, but it's not quite that easy, and it's a totally different form because of the oil and gas activity outside of Trinidad, which we had failed to realize. There was an email that was supposed to have reached us way earlier that didn't with this information. So we just changed our mind and made the decision to make a stop in the Grenadines to take a few days there, wait for the next weather window, and fill out all these forms in without stress. Because right now we have maybe 1 more hour with internet connection, and then we don't have internet again for the coming day. So it will be kind of stressful to try to fill out the forms now. And yeah, of course the best would have been if we had checked this before, but yeah, this time we didn't manage to think of everything, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, we're doing the best of it. We're making a new plan, and this way we'll be able to sail with Zelda the last bit to Trinidad. So that will be kind of nice. We can do the procedure together and arrive together and just pass the gas oil fields in the same time. So yeah, we can watch each other's back, which is always nice. So yeah, the wind just died down completely, and it's time to start the engine. The weather is crazy right now. We were like 10 minutes south of the tip of Dominica, and Marcus woke me up from my nap saying that we needed to take a reef. So we took the first reef and it did absolutely nothing. We were still way too overpowered. So we took the second reef as well, and it's better, but we're still a bit overpowered with 2 reefs and just the self-tacking jib. And something has happened with our wind transducer. It says it's blow somewhere between 12 and 18 knots, and my experience says like this is more like 30 knots of wind, and we have almost 2 knots of current against us. So even though we're doing really good speed over ground, through the water, like 7 knots, we're only doing 5 knots over ground. So we are basically getting nowhere and still having like a really uncomfortable ride. So I don't know what's happening with the wind transducer. Maybe it's just a calibration. I really hope that. And I don't know what's happening with the weather forecasts here. It's like totally impossible to get a weather forecast that is somewhat right. We have spent the entire evening before it got dark sailing by Dominica with no wind, a lot of wind, no wind, mostly no wind. And that was nowhere in the forecast, and these strong winds were definitely not in any forecast. So it feels kind of hopeless to be again, like we tried to prepare and then this gets thrown at us. It's not very comfortable sleeping either. So right now it feels very good that we're stopping in Bequi in like 20 hours, 24 maybe if it continues like this with the current. But yeah, it's going to be a long night.
Good hard wind sailing training.
Yes, like we needed that after the Atlantic. Good morning. I'm just sitting here watching the sunrise, and we've actually managed to do some speed the past hours, but it's still pretty slow even though we're doing 5 knots over ground now, and almost 8 through water. 5 knots is still a bit too... It's not enough, so we will arrive in the middle of the night to Bequi early tomorrow morning probably, so we'll be a part of another night. But yeah, it's better now that we have some speed at least. We took out the second reef somewhere around 2 in the night, and now we're just sailing with the first reef, and I would say we are pretty well balanced today, so definitely better conditions all together.
It's time for breakfast. The bread that Emmy did yesterday with some Swedish, it's called mildust. It's a soft cheese in a tube. It's very easy. Yeah, it's a bumpy ride. We have like 3 knots of current against us, so yeah, it's mentally quite just sail. Linnea sails great, but since the current is almost 3 knots against us, it's yeah, quite tough actually.
Frustrating to see the speed.
Frustrating a lot, yeah. The speed is around over 7 knots all the time, but we're just doing 4.5, 5 knots over ground. But now some breakfast. We just heated the breads up in the Omnia oven, the one that we can put on top of our stove. Super easy.
Finally, we have only 1 knot of current against us, so we are doing some proper speed over ground again, and maybe it looks like we will be on Bequi at midnight, so a lot better than tomorrow morning. But yeah, we still have about 40 miles to go, so anything can happen.
This day is really the day when I miss that we don't have a bimini. It's so freaking hot. Now it's blowing around 50 knots, but it's so freaking hot. So Emmy came up with the idea of putting a towel up as a bimini. Yeah, it works quite good. So now we have a prototype bimini-ish sunshade while sailing.
We have the current with us! Yes! It took 144 nautical miles with the current against us. And now it's with us. Like 0.2 knots, but still.
Flying! Woohoo! The mood went up like a ton of mood extra. The bimini is falling apart. The sun is setting and we're really happy that we took the decision to go into Bequia instead of continuing to Trinidad. This current has been crazy. We had currents of above 3 knots against us and around 2 to 3 almost all day. But Linnea has sailed on very well, and in 4 hours we are in the anchorage in Bequia, and we will see you tomorrow, and hopefully we will be more tossed up then.
Thank you so much for joining our sailing adventure. Please subscribe to our channel and check out the links below on how you can join the crew and support the future production of these videos. Until next time, fair winds everyone, and see you soon.